Welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because we're diving into one of the most fascinating and profound prophetic puzzles found in all of Scripture. We're going to decode a very specific pattern, one that links everyday agriculture to the cosmos and ultimately to the destiny of human nations. So let's just jump right in and see what the texts actually reveal.
It's a pretty incredible question when you think about it, right? I mean, how does a simple, everyday fig tree predict the violent shaking of the universe? Well, today we're tracing this stunning prophetic pattern. We'll start small with a local, rooted tree and watch how Scripture scales that exact same imagery all the way up to a massive cosmic event. Literally a journey from the leaves on a branch to the stars in the sky.
Part 1. The Parable of the Season.
Now, what's really interesting here is the scope of what we're told to look at. Yeshua says in Luqas chapter 21, verse 29, "Look at the fig tree and all the trees." Notice, he doesn't just isolate the fig tree, he points our attention to all trees. It's like an invitation for us to be students of our natural environment, to learn how to recognize a very specific approaching season.
And this perfectly illustrates the simple, unshakable logic of the parable. Just like we don't need a calendar to tell us summer is coming when we see trees starting to bud, we really don't need to be confused about where human history is heading. When we see these specific prophetic signs start popping up, the reign of Elohim is near. Nature is basically acting as a giant billboard for a spiritual and prophetic reality.
Moving on to Part 2, Stars like Unripe Figs.
Look at the sheer power in this imagery from Ḥazon chapter 6, verse 13. It says, "And the stars of the heaven fell to the earth, as a fig tree drops its unripe figs, being shaken by a strong wind." See how the scale has completely expanded to the entire cosmos? The fig tree isn't just budding peacefully anymore, it's enduring a massive, violent storm, and the stars themselves are the ones falling.
So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding what is happening to these quote-unquote figs. The text specifically mentions unripe figs. This is a profound metaphor for premature removal. We're talking about elements being violently shaken loose and separated long before they ever reach their appointed maturity. It's a massive signal of a great cosmic disturbance right in the heavens above us.
The fig tree, then, operates as a massive sign of cosmic transition. It's doing two big things at once, revealing the truth of the season and actively separating the unripe from the branches. This shaking, it's not random. It's a divine revelation and a divine sorting process.
Which brings us to Section 3, the Judgment of Nations.
Okay, I absolutely love this part. Just look at the connection between these two texts. In Ḥazon, we read, "Stars fell, as a fig tree drops unripe figs." Now compare that exact phrasing with the ancient prophet Yeshayah, chapter 34. "All their host fade like a leaf fading on the vine, and like the fading one of a fig tree." The vocabulary is practically identical. This proves for sure that we aren't just looking at isolated metaphors. This is a deeply rooted, consistent prophetic pattern woven all the way through the text.
And Yeshayah really reveals the true, terrifying scope of this shaking. Chapter 34, verse 2 tells us, "For the displeasure of Yahweh is against all the nations, and his wrath against all their divisions." So we're not talking about some localized weather event or one specific country's political turmoil. No, this is a divine judgment extending to all nations and all of their divisions across the entire globe.
To boil down the core meaning of this metaphor, the fading leaves and those falling unripe figs, they symbolize the systematic removal of the temporary. Anything and everything that cannot survive the presence and judgment of Yahweh is getting shaken loose. If it's proud, if it's corrupt, if it's unripe, it falls. Period.
Section 4. A Reversal of Kingdoms.
Yeshayah 34, verse 5 gives us this incredibly striking visual. "For my sword shall be drenched in the heavens." Look, it comes down on Edom. Now pay attention to the trajectory here. The sword of judgment starts way up in the heavens, where those stars are shaken like figs, and then it comes directly crashing down onto the earth.
Now, it's super important to understand that in this prophetic context, Edom isn't just one historical piece of geography on a map. Edom is serving as a prophetic picture for all human nations. It represents every single proud, defiant structure of mankind that is currently standing under divine judgment.
And the authority driving all of this is absolute. Yeshayah 34:8 states, "For it is the day of the vengeance of Yahuah, the year of recompense for the cause of Zion." So this shaking of the heavens and the earth, it's not some chaotic random disaster.
It is the highly anticipated, appointed time of Yahuah's righteous vengeance. It's cosmic justice finally being served. When we step back and look at the source text, a very logical four-step sequence of judgment unfolds. 1. The heavens roll up like a scroll and the stars fall. 2. The nations of the earth face divine judgment. 3. As a direct result, human rulers and strongholds completely vanish. And 4. The earth is finally returned to Elohim's appointed creatures. The temporary structures of man are systematically wiped out to make way for something entirely new.
Section 5. The Reign of Yahuah.
But right in the middle of all this immense destruction, Yeshayah 34 verse 16 offers us this beautiful, profound assurance. Search from the book of Yahuah and read. Not one of these shall be missing, and his spirit shall gather them. This is just amazing proof that Yahuah's word is perfectly reliable. Amidst the falling stars and crumbling nations, his spirit is actively, intentionally gathering his people. Absolutely nothing goes missing from his sovereign plan. So, let's quickly review the signs of the season based on everything we've decoded today. The fig tree and all trees bud. The heavens are severely shaken, with stars falling like unripe figs. The nations rage under divine displeasure, and human divisions multiply rapidly. This right here is exactly why Yeshua told us to look at the trees. It's an urgent, incredibly relevant call for us to discern these exact signs in our world today.
And this brings us to the absolute core message of our explainer today. Everything we've looked at points to one inescapable truth. The kingdoms of men are temporary, but the reign of Yahuah is drawing near. All those proud, towering structures of humanity, they're really just fading leaves in the grand scheme of Elohim's eternal timeline. Which brings our narrative full circle, right back to where we started, cementing the lesson of the fig tree. Yahshua commands in Luqas 21:31, "So you also, when you see these matters take place, know that the reign of Elohim is near." We aren't meant to be caught off guard by this stuff. We're supposed to be observers, actively reading the season, awake and completely aware. Which leaves us with a critical, deeply personal question to ponder. We've seen the pattern, we know the season, so when the heavens are shaken and those unripe figs fall from the branches, will you be ready for the reign of Yahuah? Thanks so much for joining me today to decode this profound prophetic picture. Keep your eyes on the trees, and I'll see you in the next explainer.